Welcome to this explainer. I am so excited to take you through this one today. What if one of the absolute most powerful things you could do for your health and your body wasn't actually adding something new to your routine, but rather taking something away? I'm talking about simply stopping eating for a while. No food, zero snacks, not a single calorie, just giving your body the ultimate gift of time.
So that brings us to the big question, right? What actually happens when you just stop eating? Think about it for a second. Does your body immediately panic and start eating its own muscles? Does your metabolism just completely shut down? Or does something way more organized, natural, and honestly pretty fascinating happen?
Well, to really get this, we kind of have to look back at our history. See, for thousands of years, humans regularly went without food. It was totally normal, just because food wasn't always around. But today, we eat constantly, literally nonstop. We graze from the second we wake up until the moment we hit the pillow. We do breakfast, a mid-morning snack, lunch, the afternoon slump snack, dinner, and then, maybe a little sweet treat right before sleep. We basically never give our digestive system a break. So, when you finally do stop eating, your body doesn't just run out of gas and crash, it smoothly changes its fuel sources.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The first few hours and the body's reaction to stopping. Let's break down exactly what goes down right after you put that fork down.
So at 0 hours, like right after you finish a meal, your body is hyper-focused on processing all that incoming energy. Your blood glucose rises, and your pancreas pumps out insulin to help push that glucose right into your cells. Now, some of that energy gets used immediately, and the rest, it gets packed away as glycogen in your liver and muscles, or eventually stored as fat. And hey, this is perfectly normal. But since we modern humans eat so darn frequently, we rarely let our bodies tap into those reserves. After a few hours without food, things start to shift. Your insulin levels gradually begin to fall, and by the time you hit the 12-hour mark, your body is leaning heavily on that stored glycogen, basically your short-term energy battery. But here's the catch. Those liver stores are limited. So as they run low, your body has to ask a very important question. All right, if there's no new food coming down the pipe, where else can I get fuel?
Which brings us to Section 2, the metabolic switch, changing your fuel source. Because fasting absolutely doesn't mean you're running on empty. It means you're flipping a switch to access a massive, hidden energy reserve.
And this brilliantly illustrates what's happening. Your body is basically shifting from a metabolic mindset of, hey, let's use the energy I just ate, to let's use the energy I already have stored. When food is always around, glucose is just the easiest fuel for your body to grab. It's the path of least resistance. But as those insulin levels drop during a fast, it suddenly becomes way easier for your body to unlock your stored fat. It starts releasing fatty acids from your fat tissue to keep the lights on and keep you powered up.
Now, once those fatty acids are released into the wild, your liver works some magic and converts a portion of them into molecules called ketones. Ketones are this fantastic alternative fuel, especially for the brain. And because the brain adapts so well to using ketones, some people actually report feeling incredible mental clarity and razor-sharp focus while fasting. It's like a brain fog just lifts. But quick caveat here, everyone is completely different. While some feel super sharp, others might feel a bit irritable, distracted, or just plain tired as their body adapts. Or, honestly, they might just be dealing with caffeine withdrawal.
Okay, now we really need to manage some expectations here. Congratulations, you fasted. The calories you eat now don't count. Boy, I really wish it worked that way, but we have to playfully debunk this right now. Your body absolutely does not say this to you. No way.
The absolutely crucial point to remember is that fasting does not break the laws of biology. It's an incredibly effective tool for sure, but at the end of the day, it is just a tool. If you fast for 16 hours, but then you eat an absolute mountain of food during your eating window, you're going to completely cancel out any calorie deficit you just created. Fasting makes it easier to spend time burning stored energy, but you can still absolutely overeat and undo the whole shebang.
All right, let's move on to Section 3, the truth about autophagy, myth versus reality. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is we're looking at probably the most exaggerated aspect of fasting you're going to find online. So let's start with a really clear definition so we actually understand the true science here. Autophagy literally translates to self-eating, but in practical terms, it's a cellular recycling system. Think of it like a biological Roomba. It's how your cells break down damaged proteins and old, unnecessary junk, and then reuse those building blocks. And fasting or nutrient deprivation absolutely stimulates the cellular pathways that kick off this amazing maintenance program.
But because the internet just loves simple, hard and fast rules, you're going to see some wildly misleading claims out there. Things like autophagy starts exactly at 16 hours, or people swearing that at precisely 24 hours, your body just violently destroys all the bad cells.
Yeah, time for our reality check on that one. Your body isn't some magical cleaning program that switches on exactly at the stroke of midnight or right at hour 16. The reality is, well, it's a lot more complicated. There is no universal timer. The whole process of autophagy depends heavily on the specific tissue, your overall energy balance, your diet, how much you exercise, and your own completely unique individual biology. It's a gradual, dynamic flow, definitely not a sudden on and off switch.
Moving on to Section 4, Real Benefits and Risks, Applying Fasting Safely. Let's step away from the internet hype for a second and get grounded in the practical reality of using this tool safely. Because look, if you're actually going to try this, you absolutely need to understand one key thing. Hunger is not a straight line. When you first start fasting, your stomach is going to growl. You might feel like you are literally starving, but hunger actually comes in waves. If you always eat lunch at noon, your brain totally expects food at noon, and it fires off a massive hunger signal. But an hour later, that feeling might just fade away completely. That growling stomach is very often just a behavioral habit, a hormonal expectation, rather than a sign of actual immediate physical danger.
And when you learn to ride out those waves, the real-world benefits can be pretty profound. Fasting can be a huge help with weight management and keeping your blood sugar regulated. It can really improve your insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells respond way better to insulin. Plus, it maximizes fat utilization by keeping those insulin levels nice and low. But honestly, the absolute biggest win for a lot of people is just breaking those constant eating habits. Creating a simple structure, like a defined time to eat and a defined time to not eat, it stops you from asking, what can I snack on right now, every single hour of the day. It just simplifies everything.
But wow, I cannot stress this next point enough. Fasting is absolutely not for everyone. People with certain medical conditions, anyone taking blood sugar medications, individuals who are pregnant or breastfeeding, and people with any history of eating disorders, they should definitely avoid fasting or only ever attempt it with strict, direct medical guidance. And crucially, listen to this. If you try fasting and you get severe dizziness, fainting, confusion, or just profound weakness, that is not a sign that the fast is working. You should never just push through that. Your health always comes first.
And that caution leads us right into probably the biggest mistake people make, assuming that a 72-hour fast is automatically 3 times healthier than a 24-hour fast. Guys, more is not always better. Pushing into those extreme fasting durations can seriously increase the risk of dehydration, dangerous electrolyte imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, and losing way too much muscle mass. The absolute most effective approach to fasting is usually just the one you can follow safely and consistently.
So, to sum this all up, we really have to look at the total picture. The human body is not impressed by trendy labels or magic bullets. It responds to your long-term overall habits. You could fast perfectly for 16 hours every single day, but if you're eating a diet packed with ultra-processed junk, never moving your body, sleeping terribly, and drowning in stress, fasting is not going to save you. It's a biological state that your body is remarkably well adapted to handle, yes, but it is still just one piece of the puzzle that makes up your long-term health.
Which brings us to our final, provocative thought. Knowing everything you know now about how your body so smoothly transitions from incoming fuel to stored fuel, could you go 24 hours without eating? I'll leave you to reflect on your own daily habits, your routines, and the absolutely incredible survival mechanisms built right into your own biology. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer.